are the ones that are operating in the household.
And so therefore, that's why the Bible talks about binding the strong man. That's why the head of the household must be a God-fearing man or woman, not just the overseer per se naturally,
Right.
but the overseer spiritually. Because, like, okay, I'm not going to let the thief come in naturally. I'm not going to let somebody come in my house naturally. But I assume that people never think spiritually. If I'm not as spiritually strong as I am naturally strong, as well as watchful, then there are spirits that can come in and captivate and affect the children.
Absolutely.
And now it can come in one way, but the end results brings in 7 times more spirits. Now we get into the point, okay, so you was affected as a child, molested by boys. Okay, we're going down this road. Okay, then you went to high school. So you had an attraction for boys when you were in high school.
I really don't know if it was an attraction or if because I had been dealt with sexually so much as a child as I thought that it was what you were supposed to do. I kind of felt that this was the way that you got liked. I had extremely low self-esteem as well.
So being with boys, you felt like this is what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, did your parents, were they aware of the relationships that you had with boys?
You know, growing up where I grew up, you know, sexual things and they're just not discussed. You just didn't talk about any of those things.
So you felt like you had nobody to talk to?
Well, I didn't even know there was a need to talk to one at that time.
Like,
I didn't even know rape or molestation was rape or molestation. I mean, one time at a high school football game, you know, about 7 or 8 guys just held me down and did what they wanted to do, and I didn't even know it was called rape.
So what do you, I mean, because of your experiences when you was younger?
Yes. I will be honest with you, I'm not really comfortable. What I will do is I will say a few things
right.
and give you what I know you're looking for in the best way that I can.
There we go.
There were some things going on in the household. There were a lot of physical abuses going on that affected my mindset about men as well. When I did get involved in homosexuality, one of the things that I wanted to do was be a better man to women than I thought men were.
Now hold that thought. So what you're saying, what you experienced as a female, caused a shift in your way of thinking that you wanted to be a better male as a female.
Yes.
Then a male was to a female as a male.
Right. I saw a lot of abuse at home and even in the neighborhoods and in some of my friends and their relationships. I saw a lot of abuse. I saw a lot of infidelity. I saw there was some, like one of my best girlfriends, you know, her boyfriends, while she's at work, they would be with other women like it wasn't nothing. In fact, they knew that I didn't have any kind of thoughts about certain things and would even lay with me. So the betrayal that I saw in men, the violence, the violence at home really affected me. I remember many moments of feeling very helpless to help my mother.
For your mother, domestic violence.
Right. And what tends to start happening is you hate what you see. You hate it so much that, or let's just say the enemy's job is to rob, kill, steal, and destroy. And one of the things that he does, and he does very well, is to steal our identity. Because if he can attack the identity, then we will never ever know who we are in God. I can even give a better example of that. You've been an evangelist and evangelizing for a long time. When you dealt with homeless people on the streets, drug addicts, alcoholics, real sure enough homeless people or drug addicts, what was one of the first things that you realized that they all had in common? None of them had a piece of form of identification on them. One of the first things
no identity.
No identity.
Right.
The first thing that he would take from you was their physical identity.
Right.
They had no driver's license, no social security cards, no papers on them at all. So they would take away the physical identity first, and then he would start attacking the spiritual.
Right.
Then they become spiritual nobodies.
Right.
To society and to themselves.
Right.
He starts attacking that kind of thing when we're
Chipping
born.
away. Chipping away.
In
Chipping
fact,
away.
the next manual I'm going to write is called Pieces of People.
Okay.
And that's going to deal with low self-esteem and stuff like that. The very moment we're born, he starts chipping away at your identity. Because he never wants you to ever come into the full knowledge of who you are in Christ.
God. Right.
In Christ. Because